All right. Hello and welcome back to Who's Even Listening. This will be episode number 5, another solo podcast. We're going to try something new out here and see how people feel about this. Like I said, once again, as always, we'd like to try new things out here. So if people aren't liking it, that's fine. Just let me know. We're just going to try something new here and see how people feel about it. I got a little script here. I'm going to be honest. I put it through ChatGPT. I have not, ChatGPT, sorry. Have not heard much about till recently, so I just wanted to dabble into it. I tried to put a little script together. I did make a little edits myself to it. Just curious to see how this comes out. I was just curious from my standpoint, because I'm not a huge AI guy, but I was curious to see how this comes out and see how people feel about this. Just as honestly, just to experiment with it and be open to it. So we're going to try and just see how it runs. And if people don't enjoy this, like I said, I won't do this again. If people do enjoy it, we'll maybe try to play with it a little more. So just let me know how you feel. So we're going to try it out. So bear with me if we butcher some stuff. So bear with me. I'm going to read off my tablet a little bit because I didn't fully memorize, obviously, the whole thing. So we're going to see how this works. So trial and error. We'll see what happens here. We try to keep it fresh here. So diving into it. So this is the podcast where we ask big questions. Like, is my purpose here to spread love or just to remember my Netflix password? And either way, we're glad you pressed play. Today we're going to talk about, as always, love and forgiveness. Big words, heavy words. But we're going to keep it chill, we're going to keep it real, and maybe poke fun at ourselves along the way. So sit back, grab a drink, maybe fold your laundry while you half listen, because let's face it, podcasts are the adult version of background music. All right, so let's start with love. Not the Hollywood kind. Nobody's running through an airport for you in real life. TSA won't even let you run. I mean the simple kind. Do I make the world a little softer, or do I make it harsher kind of love? Love isn't about huge gestures. Most of the time, it's really just about the basics. Checking in on a friend, making sure they're okay, saying thank you, saying please, saying yes sir, saying no ma'am, letting someone merge in traffic without acting like you just lost the Super Bowl. And that's love. It's not flashy, but it matters. Because those little things stack up. They're sticky. People remember them. They remember them a lot longer than they remember other stuff, and that's just the truth. Now, why is love so hard for us sometimes? Honestly, because we complicate it. We attach conditions, we make it about winning, about control, and about how we're getting back at someone. But real love, it's kind of worth spreading, and it doesn't keep score. And, I put it like this. Imagine if every act of kindness came with a receipt. Hi, I bought you lunch. So that's 2 medium favors and a shoulder to cry on, please. No thanks. Love's not a point system. So maybe there's a lesson here. And it's simple. Stop complicating it. Show up, be decent. And sometimes that's enough. And let's shift gears to forgiveness, because we talked about love and forgiveness. And I know forgiveness, the word we like to toss around, but don't actually want to practice. But here's the truth. Forgiveness isn't about saying what you did was okay. It's about saying, I'm not carrying this weight anymore. Think about grudges. A grudge is a bad song just stuck in your head. You don't even like the song to begin with, but now you're humming in the shower, in car, at work, and it's exhausting. Forgiveness is just hitting skip. It doesn't erase what happened. It doesn't mean you're suddenly best friends again. It just means you're choosing to not let it eat up your peace anymore. And honestly, the hardest part is forgiving yourself. That's the hardest part of forgiveness. We all have that highlight reel of regret playing in our heads. Every dumb thing we've said, every decision we wish we could take back. It's like having a director cut of your worst moments, just put them on loop. And at some point, you've just got to pause the tape. You've got to say, yeah, I messed up, but that was then. And I'm moving forward. Because if you can't forgive yourself, you're always dragging that weight into the present. And honestly, none of us deserve that. None of us. Now this is where it gets fun. Love and forgiveness together. They work like a team. One feeds the other. That's how they work. When you practice love, forgiveness comes easier. And when you practice forgiveness, your capacity for love expands. Think of it like this. If you're always clutching on the old anger and your hands are too full to hold anything else, but once you let go, you've got room for better things. That's the part of the power combo. Now, I know a lot of this sounds idealistic, like, wow, if everyone just loved and forgave, the world would be amazing. Yeah, no kidding. But this is the thing. It doesn't take everyone. It takes one person, then maybe two, then maybe a few more. It just takes for it to trickle down. That's all it takes. Change doesn't start with the world. It starts with how you treat the barista, how you handle that argument with your sibling, and how you respond when someone cuts you off on the highway. Small ripples, they matter. And let's be real for a second. Choosing love and forgiveness doesn't mean you become a doormat. And I struggle with that myself. You don't have to let toxic people back into your life. You don't have to keep getting hurt. Forgiveness is for you, not for them. And love doesn't mean ignoring boundaries. It just means carrying on without letting people just walk all over you. So don't confuse kindness with weakness. We all tend to do that. And some of the strongest people you ever meet are the ones who choose love in a world that's constantly just nudging us towards anger. And that's a very truthful thing. Most of the people that do show so much love usually are challenged by so much evil that that's how they're able to overcome it, because they just deal with it constantly. And here's a little challenge with you for today. Do a small thing out of love. It doesn't have to be big. Send someone a message. Hold the door. Give a genuine compliment, not backstabbing. And forgive one small thing. Maybe the driver who cut you off. Maybe yourself procrastinating again. Just let it slide. Just let it slide for once. It's that simple. That's it. And if you do it every day, it builds. And it builds and builds and builds. So to wrap this up, love isn't complicated. We make it complicated. Forgiveness isn't easy, but it's lighter than carrying resentment. And together, they make life a lot softer. And honestly, who doesn't want that? And take care of yourselves, forgive often, love freely, and remember to laugh at yourself sometimes. And that's the biggest thing we can give ourselves in situations is humor. And that's about all I got on the script, but I was just curious to see how that took us. We're going to go off a little rant here from now, but I was just curious to see how people feel about that. But maybe I'll get more natural on it when we do more, but I mean, I've tried to do as best we can with that, just going off the dome. I just read through that quickly, but it's very interesting to see how that's come together, about how people can kind of use that, and just how people, say like we're watching a podcast or a news channel or whatever, and they got, prompters up in the back and whatever, or the same thing with, what I have, it's a visual, so you can see it. So obviously I'm open that I'm reading off of something. Some people aren't as open, or you just don't know. But, that's really going to change the game for a lot of certain people, what they're doing, whether that's this or doing, a show where you can pull that off a little easier, or, through music. I mean, that's the scary part I wanted to bring up, too. I brought this up in a podcast that I was on with Josh, but talking about the AI creation, you talk about songwriting and stuff like that through here, and it's just, it's a very scary concept of what you can kind of create. But it does lose that, I think, authenticity of it, and there was times where I was actually adding to it, of my own thoughts. I'm sure you could probably notice that when it's changing, because, you can tell the authenticity and the, the truthfulness, if that's genuine in what you're saying, or if it's, what you're reading off of. So I did want to bring that up and just show that live and see how people thought about that. Because obviously I'm open for getting hate for that. It is what it is. It was just an experiment, it is what it is. So if you want to hate me for that, that's fine. But I don't do that normally. Every one of my podcasts are not like that, but I was just curious to see what that did. But so hopefully that was interesting for people. And people, like I said, they want to see me do longer ones on that. I didn't want to do too long because I didn't want to make it like that if it wasn't going to, connect the people. But so we're going to drop to see how this works. But if people are interested in trying another one, I'll go into more detail and probably kick more, and I'll definitely recite it and memorize it like I used to in my old acting days, and we'll get back to that if people are interested. But other than that, I just want to see how that went and just try to check that out and see how that worked and how people feel about that. So just let us know, and like I said, always like and subscribe to the videos, and we got much more content coming for you. We got some funny segments coming, we got some serious takes, bringing on some new guests, a lot of cool stuff packed for you, and same with the music. So make sure you stay tuned. We actually got an event coming up too that we're going to be at, so I'm going to give some news on that as well too here soon. I don't want to post about it before it gets publicized, but we're going to be at an event here soon too, so I'll give you a little spoiler. So that's very exciting. It's about a really good cause, and we're getting into that soon. But other than that, appreciate everybody that always tunes in, and as always, spread love and forgiveness. Do your part, ELE. Everybody love everybody, and just do your part, and have a great day, great night, great morning, great breakfast, great lunch, great brunch, great dinner, and make sure you go to Westside for breakfast. And as always, appreciate everybody who does listen. Like and subscribe to the channel if you can, and support that if you can too. So appreciate everybody, appreciate your time, and hope everybody's doing their part to spread love and forgiveness and make this world a little more positive, and that's all we can do. So as always, this is Who's Even Listening, signing off.